my beautiful students, welcome back to class. And in this video I will be discussing the roles and characters of Inspector Goole. Inspector Goole. Okay. And of course you know that this particular character plays the role of Priestley. That's the playwright. This particular character is the one that challenges them, okay, each one of them like this, on their moral standing, and calls them to repentance, okay, which is really the reason Priestley had written this play. So we see this particular character, Inspector, representing the playwright, and we see the character Mr. Berlin representing um, representing the people that he wants to address, right? The social class he wants to address. For his description, we actually don't have much to say about him, apart from the fact that he's an inspector to um to the Berlin family, okay? But then he's later known to be a fake inspector, right? And of course, he questions them individually and questions their moral standard, all right? Giving advice on how, or giving us advice on advising them areas where they could do better. So basically that's everything that we can say about the inspector when it comes to character and whatever. He dressed like an inspector, speaks and is firm, okay? But the thing about it is that an inspector, a normal or the real inspector, will not be the one to start to like preach, not preach in that sense, to like encourage you to do better and to why do you do it. A real inspector will call you out for who you are when he sees that this is you, when he sees that you've confessed to the crime. He takes you up. There's no okay, I'm going and I'll come back. Do you get? So that's why it cannot be regarded as a real inspector. So let's just begin. So, inspector as Priestley's voice. So the inspector serves as the mouthpiece of Priestley's idea on social responsibility. This is evident when he states we are members of one body, because that's what Priestley, that's the playwright, that's what Priestley is really advocating for. We are all members of one body, whether it is upper class or lower class, or everybody. We are humans. That's the first thing. We are humans, all right. We are responsible for each other. Through this statement, the inspector emphasizes the importance of collective responsibility in the society. Rather than treating Eva Smith's case as an isolated incident, he represents it as part of a wider social problem affecting many people. This shows that Priestley is using the inspector to challenge the selfish attitude of the upper class and encourage a more caring and united society. So this one is what we have already discussed yesterday. This is what we have already discussed earlier. Okay, so the reason, because like I said in my previous videos, like a writer will not just write in isolation. There is something that the writer wants to correct in society. So Priestley had seen this in society and is not even cool about it and decided to write a story correcting that social norm, right? So we have inspector as a moral judge. The inspector acts as a moral judge who evaluates the action of each character and exposes their wrongdoing. For instance, he tells Mr. Berlin it's better to ask for the earth than take it, criticizing Berlin's harsh treatment of his workers. This shows that the inspector is not just interested in facts, but in morality. He judges the characters based on how they treat others, especially those less privileged. Through his role, Priestley highlights the importance of fairness and compassion in society. I've said this earlier. Like, he is not just about the facts. Okay, I need you to confess, right? So I need, they already have the kind of question, the line of questions to that they will ask, right? So now he's not only just asking them, he's also correcting them on what they should have done better. So of course, another role is that he forces conflict. There is no way you want to hide. Even Mrs. Belinda at first uh, denied it. She was forced to say the truth, right? So he has a way of bringing out the truth in the characters. So another important role of the inspector is that he forces the characters to confess and take responsibility for their actions. This is seen when he states, you'll be able to divide the responsibility between you. This suggests that each character played a part in Eva Smith's death and cannot escape blame. The inspector carefully controls the questioning, revealing information step by step, which creates tension and forces each character to admit their involvement. This reinforces the idea that everyone is responsible for the action. And that is why he refused to show them the picture at once. He was showing them. So the thing about it is that the characters are not even sure if he had shown everyone the same picture. Okay, So he made sure that he got the truth out of every of the character as pertaining to their involvement in the death of Eva Smith. So it's a symbol of equality. Like I said earlier, this is what Priestley stands for. This is what Priestley stands for. The inspector also represents the idea that equality and the value of every individual. This is shown when he declares, there are millions and millions and millions of Eva Smith and John Smith still left with us. You know, it's profound. Beyond this, it's profound because Eva Smith represents the masses. Okay, and after everything, he had to tell them, see, there are millions. So I understand that you feel guilt about this, but there are millions of Eva Smiths out there that you can make right, that are looking up to you. It's not that they want to take your place. It's just that they want to be compensated for what is rightly theirs. Okay? And this statement suggests that Eva is not just one person, but a symbol of many working class people who suffer in the society. And by saying this, the inspector highlights the need to treat everyone with dignity and respect, regardless of their social class. So, like I said, they cannot ask you a particular question about, they cannot ask you a question about a particular character, and the first paragraph, you forget the theme. Because it doesn't matter. Oh, whether they're not asking me about the theme. You know, I've always said it. That's your cup of tea. You will put the theme. And the theme here, when you are talking about this inspector, the theme is equality. Equality. Priestley, the playwright, is advocating for a time that everyone will be equal. A time when one will not be treated, you know, with all of the dignity at the expense of another. A time where both can have a say, can open their mouth like this and talk about their grievances or what they don't want in the society, and if and a change would happen. A time when there is no rich, there is no poor. A time when you will put the fact that you are human first over social class. So you cannot you cannot write about any particular character and you will not put the theme. So 5 point paragraph is very, very important. If they ask you about the role of a particular character, the first thing is the theme. Just talk about the major thing. It's theme of inequality, theme of equality. You get right? Then you talk about the description. Like I said, for this one, there's for this character, there's nothing much. Don't say, well, because there's nothing much to discuss. That's why it doesn't matter. That's cheap 5 marks for you because you cannot say more than what information is given about that character. So the only thing that we know about this particular character is that he's Inspector Goole. He comes to the Berlin family to interrogate them concerning the death of Eva Smith, right? He is firm and he questions their moral standings. He gets the facts out of them and he is firm. Do you get? He didn't make any arrests. He left at the end of the day. Do you understand? So you're not going to say, oh, we don't know his wife, we don't know where he works, we don't. That's not for you to decide. Though. You talk about his character in the second paragraph before you now start talking about, oh, he represents the voice of Priestley. Oh, he's an advocate of equality. Oh, he's firm in this one. Oh, he questions their moral, whatever, whatever. Ha. After that, you must not forget significance, which is very, very important. That's your last paragraph. Because the question will now be, who does he represent in the society? Do you understand? You must not forget it. So even if you're writing 5 point paragraph, 5 point paragraph, from the 5 point paragraph, there are compulsory paragraphs that you will write, which is the first paragraph, the theme, the second paragraph, the character description, the third compulsory paragraph, the significance. See, whatever you now want to put in the middle, that's the third paragraph, I be the third and fourth paragraph. That's now the rules, right? And I always tell you, if you have been following me for a long time, I will always tell you that make sure that you write at least 7 point paragraph. And the reason is not far-fetched. If, as an examiner, I pick your script, I have seen the first paragraph, even though WAEC had said mark any 5 paragraph, right? Mark any 5 paragraph. I have seen, and out of the 5 paragraph, it's important that there are 3 paragraphs that you must put. Now, I've seen your thing, I've marked it. Let's say for your thing, I give you a 4. I've seen your character description, I've marked it. For your character description, say I give you a 5. Now, I am moving. Your third paragraph should be the roles, right? Now, if you decide to talk about the fact that he represents Priestley's voice, right? And you didn't write everything, or if you're not convincing enough, you are only able to earn, say, 2 marks or 3 marks there. I give you the 3 marks there. I move to the next paragraph, which is your fourth paragraph. You talk about the fact that it's the symbol of equality, right? I give you 4. I move to the next paragraph. You still talk about another role of this, and then you talk about it well. I give you, say 4, and then you ended it with the sixth paragraph, the significance. Now I marked the significance because it is important that you add significance, right? So out of everything that I've marked now, out of the sixth paragraph you have written now, I have taken the 3 that belongs to me, which is important, right? I've taken 3. Now you now say, if you now say, Shabi, they say it's 5 points. You now restrict it to 5. Now after taking those 3 that belongs to me, I'll now go to the 3 paragraph that you're supposed to use to answer the question, Gongo. That is the rules. Now that means I've taken 3, right? I've taken theme, I've taken characterization, I've taken significance, right? I need 2 more. I need 2 more paragraphs from you. But you're giving me 3 paragraphs, 3 more paragraphs, right? So I look at the 3 other paragraphs, the roles. You talk about 3 different roles, and I see that in one of the roles you got 2. In the second row you got 4. In the third row you got 5. I will not pick 2. I will pick 4 and I'll pick 5, and I'll add it to the 3 that belongs to me and add everything together. That's how examiners mark. So the fact that they say that it's 5 marks does not guarantee that you are going to have 5 marks. Or the fact that they say that it's 5-point paragraph does not mean that you will now restrict it to 5 points. Like, okay, let me put a compulsory paragraph, then let me put 2 rules. That you not playing smart. You give us more than 5 paragraphs, at most 7. So that by the time we take the one that is compulsory for us, right, we will still need to look for 2. And you will not stand, especially except if that examiner is followed by village people, that an examiner will leave a paragraph where you scored 4 and will pick a paragraph where you have 2. But in the case where you don't have extra paragraph remaining, the examiner will not manufacture paragraph for you. So you just pick. And if it is 2, you got from the 2. You add it to the ones that are compulsory and sum it up. And if you like, give 7 paragraphs. And out of 7 paragraphs, you should not put the compulsory paragraphs. You're on your own. The examiner will mark all the 7 paragraphs and pick the best 3. And pick the best 3 or pick the best 2. You have thrown 3 compulsory paragraphs out of the window. It's not the examiner's fault. That's why some students will say, oh, I wrote so much and I got this particular grade. So I hope you understand. Right. So that's just by the way. Now, inspector as a voice of warning. Finally, the inspector serves as a warning to both the characters and the audience. In his final speech, he says, if men will not learn that lesson, then they will be taught in fire, blood, and anguish. This powerful statement warns of serious consequences if people continue to ignore their responsibilities to others. It suggests that society will face suffering and conflict if change does not occur. And through this, Priestley uses the inspector to deliver a strong moral message about the need for social reform. This this play is very simple, very simple. As a matter of fact, it's just like you are repeating the same point in different ways. Do you get? Because everything that he is advocating for is that equality, responsibility, moral standard. These are the things that he's advocating for. So if you are smart enough, you'll be able to coin it, and whatever, if they ask you, oh, justify Priestley, did I say Priestley? Justify Inspector Goole as a moral whatever, whatever. You already know. You already know what to write. Okay, right? So its significance. He represents compassion and concern for the masses. Although the way in which he achieves it is somewhat lacking in moral sometimes, hypocritical and direct in his approach, the inspector lacks all empathy for Mr. and Mrs. Berlin, warning that those that cannot own their mistakes should pay in fire and blood and anguish. Thank you for your attention. It's like I'm your witness lesson. Be good.